My name is Bill Flaherty, and that was just on the screen. So Justin, how's it going?
Pretty good, how are you?
I'm ready to kill myself right about now. I don't know about you.
No, don't do that.
No, it's okay. I'm going to do a show on euthanasia.
Oh, really?
As a matter of fact, yeah, it's called This Show Right Now. So
I'm doing a show.
Oh, you're doing a show?
Yeah.
Really? What is it?
It's called Burnt Toast.
Burnt Toast?
Burnt
Wow,
Toast.
what is it about?
It's variety, you know, kind of like your show, only a little better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. When's it going to go on?
May 23rd. It's Friday night. Should be the first show.
Wow, that should be exciting. Well, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool, man.
Actually, I was thinking about changing the date of it, though.
Oh, really? When do you want to do it?
Well, I was talking to the other producers who are going to help me out on it. We're thinking second Tuesday of every month and, do a monthly show.
Well, that's kind of when I'm supposed to be doing Spoonful,
Yeah, but people would rather watch my show, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you think so? I mean, I kind of have a little niche or whatever. I certainly know people aren't coming in here or anything, so.
Well, I could fill up the audience with my show.
Yeah, I bet you could fill up the audience more than it is for my audience right about now, couldn't you?
Yeah, every Tuesday, second Tuesday of every month.
Well, Justin,
Burnt Toast.
good luck with that. Good luck.
Well, good luck with your show. I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy it.
Everyone but me, Justin. That's the way it's going to go.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, good luck. It was nice talking to you, Bill.
Thank you.
Have a good show.
Can we do the opening, please? What happened to the screw? Oh.
Too bad.
Okay, so you're back there with two. Give it 2 minutes, focus on him all the way.
Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through.
Hey, Winthrop, it's Spoonful with Bill Flaherty.
Hello, audience, all 4 of you. That's great.
Hi, we made it.
Who here in the audience doesn't know
Ron Vecchia. Chris Castiglione. Dana Stone. And Junk Bond King Michael Milken. And now the man who has it all, Bill Flaherty.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. A lot of people always told me it's not the size, it's the quality, and now it's true. We have a very good audience here. 4 people. Bill Flaherty, the man who has it all except audience. That's the way it goes. But we're going to try to work with this. Yes, it's been a couple of months since last I've been here. Obviously, people really missed me. They're really here in full attendance. Anyway, do you ever stop and wonder, why are you doing something? I mean, right now it's just one of those days. But anyway, here I am. Yes, I was away for a little while. I took a little vacation. I was off at that Heaven's Gate place for a couple months. I got out. I wish I'd stayed right now, but I got out. I got out after a while. It really wasn't the death packs thing that got to me. It was that, they would always watch, Star Trek Voyager, just every day, nonstop, UPN TV. It was really bad. Help me. Anyway, where was I? Yes, with the monologue. President Clinton is in a little bit of a trouble with, inviting people over for, exchanging favors for money and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like not a big deal. Come on. I mean, put it in your shoes. You're the president. Your house is the White House. Your ride is Air Force One. I mean, sure, invite a couple of people over. Why not? Sit them down. Give them a few drinks. What? Like Bob Dole's going to drive them around in his Etzel and that's going to get some money? Give me a break. Thank you. Yes, what else? Oh, yes, Greg Norman is making his triumphant return to the Masters. Hopefully he can win it all this year. Right now, there's actually the broadcasters, the televisors of it, have been instructed that they can do 2 things. When Greg Norman's taking a shot, they can either refer to him as Greg Norman or simply go, hey, all right. This is cool. This is cool. What else is man? What else? Oh, the space shuttle's coming down again. It's coming down a little prematurely. I guess they're having some electrical problems with the space shuttle. Something would happen. I know. I hear that one astronaut had the hair dryer and the other person had the radio, and it just blew. Just blew. Do we have it? No, we actually have a guest. Thank you, Ron. No, please come back. Spoonful, the only show where a guest comes in and raises the audience by 30%. Very good. And then we have more people. It's Dana. Very good. All right, another guest. We're up to 60%. The audience is great. It's pretty exciting. Oh, yeah, another thing. NASCAR racer Dick Trickle just won $53,000 for coming in 23rd. I really don't have a joke. I mean, just Dick Trickle pretty much says it all for me. One of those no-brainers, one of those easy. Not for nothing, but I mean, if you're Dick Trickle's parents, I mean, your last name is Trickle. Why? I'm just not going to go in there. I just refuse. And also, the immigration laws are going to be very tougher soon in the United States. And one of the stipulations for having these tougher immigration laws is going to be a whole thing to refurbish the Statue of Liberty. Now they're going to have on her breast sort of a in-service light and an off-service light. So that should be pretty interesting. All right, Gary, what's our extra helping for tonight?
Extra helping is greed.
Yes, the extra helping for tonight is greed. One of the deadly sins and one of the most alluring. Want to know why? Because it's all about me. Yes, greed. I grew up in the 80s, and this is when greed went from being a sign of low character to simply just an attribute. I mean, 10 years before, in the 70s, to be cool, you kind of had to, not wear socks, have nappy hair, and be dirty. A lot of people just achieved things simply because they wanted to achieve. But in the 80s, the phrase came into play, well, gee, how do I make a buck out of this? Happened into play. And the bagheads are here. Yeah, come in. Come in, bagheads. We have a shot of them. You want to take a seat a little bit? I'll be using you later on. All right, bagheads. Man. So, Ron, what is this on the community forum level? What is this like?
Your Liberty baggers.
Yeah, I know. Liberty bags. Where was I? Oh, yes, greed. Yes, in the 70s, people did things for what they wanted, but in the 80s, the phrase, well, gee, how do I make a buck out of this came into vogue. And so now we have a whole generation with parents who are a mixture of 60s and 70s, and then you have those kids growing up in the 80s. We have an entire generation that wants it all, but isn't quite sure how to get it, or really, how to work for it. I mean, well, I just had a mental blank. That's pretty cool. Greed! Ladies and gentlemen, the seventh deadly sin. Gary, I just want to toss it all in right about now. I am totally at the end of my rope. Well, greed, I mean, the 90s is basically a time when greed can have a total stranglehold on us as human beings. I mean, I don't want to do the monologue anymore, screw. Let's just go to the phones. The extra topic's about greed, okay? Let's just give me applause. All right, hi. Welcome to Spoonful. I've just about had it. The extra topic for tonight is greed, and we're going to be talking to a lot of different people about this. We're going to be talking to the president of WCAT, Ron Becky. Let's give it up for Ron. We're going to be talking to a computer person, Chris Siglione, if he gets here. Let's give it up for Chris. All right. We're going to be talking to a local business owner, Dana Stone, so give it up for Dana. There we go. And junk bond king Michael Milken will be here, so let's give it up for him. Man, I just quit the monologue. Gary, I just quit the monologue, Is that insane?
It's all about you, Bill.
It's all me. I can do it. It's my show. It's all me. Well, one of the changes you're going to notice in Spoonful for today, we used to have a couch right here, but that's gone. And also, this used to be a call-in show. As a matter of fact, if you want to... Here, this is the phone. And we used to have calls, But I've decided to eliminate the calls from Spoonful. Yes, it was a tough decision, but yes, I know people are a little disappointed. But I really wanted it to be sort of a reconnection with the people of Winthrop. I wanted people to watch the show and get excited, and then maybe call in with some questions for the guests. But what ended up happening was either people were calling in when they noticed people in the audience, like, "Hey, tell Bobby I said hi!" And then, you know, if you have to like wave to Bobby or whatever. And then on top of that, you either had them calling up and insulting me or my guests, which was insane. You know, that's nice. Yeah, I'm getting some guy down here to be in front of front lights for like half hour, and I have some jerk over the phone calling them in and insulting them. So I figured that the phone really wasn't working out too well. So if you can, please come down and be part of the audience. We're down here at 165 Winthrop Street. It's the second Tuesday of every month. We always need audience members, although the audience is pretty much filled out pretty well compared to 5 minutes ago. Yeah, these guys, what are you, the standing audience? What are you, too cool for chairs? What's the deal over there?
Standing room only.
Standing room only, all right. But anyway, to commemorate all the people that insulted my guests, that tried to embarrass me, that made my life hell, I have constructed a poem for you people. So if you all just want to relax, I wrote this. So this is for you, all the people that want to call in right now and crank, but can't because there are no phones. This is called, "What Are You Going to Do on Tuesday Nights?" Dirty little boys, clutching the phone like a repressed tick. You are now the divorced, the discarded napkin, the safety foil. I have left you hanging, and hang you shall. I have purged you, vomiting the bad sandwich that has plagued the stomach of my show. Losers, what shall you do? What about a hobby, prepubescent dweeb? Without my show, you're as useful as a stitch in a balloon. What shall you do on Tuesday? Crank your mother? How appropriate, since I gave your mother the crank last night. I banish you to moving cars, to quiet whispers. Oh, insulting sackless jerks. Don't write, just waste, knowing that I'm laughing at you, knowing that one of the meat candles of your life has been extinguished. I do it with glee. So eat a candy bar out of my ass. Goodbye. That was my poem to all this. So guys, you know, that's okay. Just see me just yell at me from moving car like you always do. All right, my first guest tonight is a former selectman of the town of Winthrop. He is also currently the president of WCAT. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you all Ron Vector. Let's give it up for Ron. Yeah, Ron, I've seen more excited walks than dead man walking. This is ridiculous. What are you doing?
I thought this was community forum.
No, it is not community forum. Take a seat. Take a seat. So, Ron, welcome. We do have the community forum water tower
I
over there.
noticed the water tower. I also noticed a couple of
Community forum
photos.
pictures. Yes, I know. Before I knew.
Those are trademarked, you know.
Oh.
Copyright.
I know. Sorry.
That's
Well, I
okay.
just wanted it all. It's kind of the show. Kind of the theme of the show. I was putting them up, and I'm like, oh, these are cool. Where'd they come from? Ron. Oh God. And I was just like knowing you were going to be here and stuff. So.
Quite all right, Bill.
All right. So I won't.
Share everything at this station.
So Ron, for those of people that aren't that are uneducated, who don't know really who you are, what you're about, do you want to give a little brief bio about yourself, like how long you lived in the town, your selectman, that type of thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. Okay. What else? No. Been here all my life, just about, and very actively involved in the town, as you know, politically. Selectman for 2 terms, Conservation Commission for a couple of terms, Board of Health for a couple of terms, MCI Concord for a couple of terms. No, only kidding. And then I went from here to, I took a temporary leave of residency and went to Pennsylvania. I took a
Really?
promotion with my
Now,
company.
what brought you to Pennsylvania? Was it the syrup or was it something else?
It was the, actually it was the home cooking.
That'll
The
do it.
Amish home cooking, and
Amish.
it was really good. But So I came back, and as you know, that I've been involved with local access since day one.
Yes, you were one of the first people that got this whole station off the ground, really.
Kinda. Myself, Maya Brew, we were on the original committee, the Telecommunications Committee. We called it the Cable TV Advisory Committee then. Now it's the Telecommunications because there's more involved. But we were involved in the first negotiations that took place with Time Warner. That now we realize the station.
Yes, it's becoming a very invaluable part of the community as well.
10th year anniversary.
10th year anniversary, we're all really excited about that. I've been here since its inception, well, not its inception, but when it first started, the first class available was in '87, and I joined right up with that. So that was very exciting.
So I've been serving on the board for about the last 5 years, 6 years, and I ran for president a couple of months ago.
Yes, you did.
And unfortunately, I made it. No, in all seriousness, it's been a lot of work, and as you
Yes,
probably...
and I've been a board member, and almost the same time you were president. It's been a real lot of work, but I think you're doing a really good job.
Well, thanks. I think you are, too.
Thank you.
It takes all types
Hey, come on.
It takes all types of, input. I mean, I think we have diversity on the board. There's all types of
I'm
backgrounds.
probably the only board member that would say, eat a candy bar out of my ass, probably. That'd probably be the only one.
Unfortunately, and I'll hear about this tomorrow, you are probably in violations of policies and procedures. This should go on at 10 o'clock. Is that correct? Are you on the policies and procedures?
No, it's good to me.
Okay. But I'm sure I'll get a few phone calls about that tomorrow.
Okay, but I'm sure they'll be good-natured.
No, but I think, this type of program, I think is good because it shows diversity within the organization. We have the arts well represented. We have, obviously, political programs to beat the band. Thank God we have...
The wazoo, so to speak, yeah.
And thank God we have a couple of weeks of a moratorium there.
Yeah, I know.
Because it was getting a little too much. But, it's important that people see the candidates and so forth.
Well, we really are a connection to the community because when you think about it, I mean, there's a presidential election, but, NBC's covered them, ABC's covered them. They have the big national election. We are, to the people of Winthrop, just as important to NBC or any of the major networks to that.
I think people in the community that don't know really what we do here, I mean, people think that I get paid.
Yeah, they think I get paid.
And they don't understand, a lot of people don't understand that anybody can get involved down here. And I think it's important that if you have, if you have any idea at all that you'd like to come down and participate, especially in a show like this, who wouldn't want to participate, to come down and...
You should have been here at 8 o'clock, Ron. I had no one here, but it's filled out now.
That's why I waited.
I guess the audience, if nothing else, is a little tardy, if nothing else. But they're very excited and they're very happy to be here. Thanks a lot, audience. It still amazes me, too, after all these years, the misconceptions still exist about WCAT that, we're an elitist group, we've got the doors closed, only a certain amount of people, you have to pass, like, an exam or whatever,
I think people...
It's Mensa or something, Winthrop Mensa or something.
I think people that make that charge do not really understand. I mean, you could say that about many organizations in town. It's because in this day and age, there's only a small group of people within every organization that take the baton and carry it and do all the work that needs to be done to let the organization proceed, and exist. And I think the same holds true here at the station. I mean, we're open to anybody. I mean, if you look at the people that are involved in the station, whether they're producer members, whether they're family members, individual members, business members, it's several hundred. But the actual people getting involved in the station may only be 35 to 40 people.
Well, other people don't realize, too, that this is a lot of work. We can just talk to Gary or talk to any of the people. Bagheads, are you leaving? Do you want to come on camera for a little bit before you go? Come on up, Bagheads. Sorry. Come on, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to diss. Oh, hey, turn around from the camera so the bag can see you. This is a gift, I guess. Oh, one of the Bagheads is pregnant, my God. Back when you were becoming a selectman, did you ever think it would be down to this?
No.
All right, what is this?
Are those Liberty Market bags, by the way?
Those Liberty Market bags.
No,
Oh, wow.
Market Basket.
Thank you very much.
Market Basket.
Bring your bag up. Oh my God, wow, there's a little Ron, they say we don't get paid, but you just can't put a price tag on affection like this.
Slice that up and make it a good eggplant parmesan.
I know, an eggplant parmesan. We could have
Like a cooking show.
a cooking kitchen with Bill and the eggplant.
There you go.
I don't know, thank you. Thank you very much, Bagheads. You have anything to say, or are you just very silent? All right, well, let's hear it for the Bagheads. Take it easy. Oh, wait, I think one of them is kind of going into labor. Wait, are you okay? Oh my God. Are you okay? Is it, what's going on? Oh, well, they're running off. Wow, this is a hell of a different world than community forum, huh, Ron? This is like...
I had some second thoughts about coming down here tonight, quite honestly. But,
I bet you're psyched now.
actually, you get more people in your show than I do. You know? I'm lucky if I get a cameraman to show up.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, people always, rush to the scene of an accident, so people like to come down to my show. So anyway, greed. That's the main title of the show, the extra helping. Now, I guess really the best way to look at it, being a selectman, is that you have to deal with a lot of problems, and you have to deal with sort of everybody, kind of wanting their thing. The not in my backyard. Well, how does this affect me? It's all about me. Meanwhile, that you might have to make a lot of decisions that would be beneficial to a lot of people, but the three people that it would really piss off, you kind of gotta either not. How do you deal with something like that, being a select person?
I think in that position, when you're elected to the position of a selectman, you're representing the whole town. You're not just representing a group. And the thing that, when you brought that up, the thing that I remember most about one of the most controversial decisions I ever made on the board goes back to, I think it was my first or second year on the Board of Selectmen. And years ago, you could park along Washington Avenue in Pleasant Street. Believe it or not, you could park along that road. And we had a series of accidents. There was a young child that was hit by a car. There was all types of hit-and-run accidents because there were parked cars there, and you know how fast they go. And there's like the white line was not actually in the center. So it was very dangerous.
Yeah.
We had a public hearing one night, and it was a full house, and Bob Noonan was there, and Bob DeLeo and myself, and we took a lot of heat from the residents that lived there that parked their cars there. That, they wanted to park out in front of their house.
Yeah.
And we understood that. It's their right and so forth and so on. But we had to make a decision that the overall, safety for children and safety for the public overruled everything else.
Now, is that hard to deal with being a selectman, having every, oh, well, gee, Ron, this is really important now. I want to make sure that I think all lawns in the town should be blue, because that would be, and you have to listen to this person for 10, 15 minutes, talk about stuff like that?
That comes with the territory. You got to take it all. And the thing is, from the first day you get elected as selectman, you start losing your friends or your supporters.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
Because there's certain people that get involved in a campaign for personal reasons.
Yeah.
Okay? And once you go away from the way they think or something that they particularly wanted to achieve, then you've made an enemy. However, on the same token, if you've made decisions that you felt were good for the community and for the well-being of the general public, you do at that time start getting people back on your side that you may not have had before.
Yeah, I think that's
they
really
respect you.
I think that's the thing of politics too, is that everybody wants to do a lot of different things, but the second you tell someone, well, it's going to cost something, it's going to inconvenience you, there's going to be some changes, they just freak out. And
That's
I think that's, what was the deal with the snow? We had 7 million people saying they were going to kill Mayor Menino, whatever his name is, we'll never forget this, Menino, 7 feet of snow, the plows went out here in 2 minutes, we're going to get you, and it's kind of
It's tough.
it's no excuse for having a late plow, but by the same token, it's kind of
But you've got to look at the facts. In that particular case, a lot of the plows had been dismantled. We just had warm temperatures. Easter Sunday was a pretty decent day.
Yeah.
So who expected 26 inches of snow?
Exactly, but it just seems like people seem to always be me. Now, how do you feel that, in general, not with your own life? Do you think people are getting more greedy now? Is it more apparent?
I don't know if it's any more apparent than it's been before. I think there's always going to be greed. It's just human nature, I don't think it's any more prevalent today than it's been before.
Now, do you think that we're getting into a big victimization thing, because of something that I had no control of, I am a victim, therefore I should get X, Y, and Z? I think there's a lot more of that nowadays than maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think you hear, and it probably is, and it kind of compounds itself because in the media, there's all different reports about who's suing who and who's looking for this and who's looking for that and who's demanding this because this one got that. So it just feeds on itself and it just, becomes more and more, prevalent.
Now, have you ever had to make a decision, being in a position of power, where you knew it was going to mess with you? You knew that it was going to inconvenience or not be good for you, but you knew it was good for the whole community or the whole whatever? Well,
if you take a look at that situation with the safety factor, I probably have. I can't think of anything specifically, but I think when you get in a position of selectman, you kind of have to put yourself away from the picture, your personal type of thing, and do something, based on what's good for everybody. But I'm sure I've done things that, that I really didn't want to do. I'll tell you one thing I didn't do, and that's sign the contract for the chlorine trucks to drive through the cities of Winthrop.
That is a good thing. That is a very good thing.
That's one thing I never did.
That was cool. Now, what was the pressure with that like?
Well, because they had to, there's only one way they could bring the chlorine into Deer Island.
Yeah.
And that was by truck, because there was no such thing as barging in it, because there was no barge. So I just absolutely refused to do it. But when there's something on principle, I kind of stand my ground.
Now, what is your own personal battles with greed? Have you ever had something where you just look at in your personal life, when you really wanted something, even though you kind of, like Ron Vecchia, age 5. You ever in the story took a candy bar or something? People want to hear that, Ron. People want to know. The story, it's all coming out now on Spoonful.
I think I might have taken a candy bar from Ralph Goldberg down at Beach Pharmacy. When he wasn't looking, or maybe an extra, when I was working, and they maybe took an extra vanilla Coke. I'm not going to tell you how much it cost at the time, but I may have done that.
I see.
You
Now,
see?
what was the sign that, we all go through a thing where, I guess controlling our own urges or whatever, it's kind of I don't know, it's a never-ending learning process, I guess. But do you think greed, this is a question I asked later on to people on the street, do you think greed is inherent in people, or is it something that we pick up and learn?
I think it's inherent in people, but I also believe that you develop it by the life in your world around you, whether it's family, whether it's friends, your environment, when you go to school, the type of people that you associate yourself with. It depends. And some people it's more prevalent to others. It depends on what group they involve themselves with, in society.
Now, how would you go about, do you think, now you don't think greed is going crazy right now. Do you think that we as a society kind of push it too much with advertising and telling people, just watching TV, there's tons of product placement, always like, to be anything you must be this, you got to have the right shoes, the right car, the right whatever.
I think society and the media and advertising in general sets the tone. Look at kids growing up, and they got to have the name brand sneakers that are, $95, and
Yeah, the Michael Jordan shoes, like $3 billion or whatever.
That's more prevalent today than it was when I grew up.
Yeah.
It was prevalent then, but more now.
Is it an irreversible process? It's really, it just seems like it's steamrolling and steamrolling. Like everybody's got their name on something. The merchandising blitz is going absolutely crazy.
I don't think it'll ever reverse itself. I think it's gonna kind of snowball.
Is there? What was the deal? What'd you feel, Ron? And I've always wondered about this.
This is a good one.
About George Lucas re-releasing the 3 movies. Now, seriously, what was the deal with that?
They were awesome.
What? No. Now, I didn't see the other 2. I saw Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, that was so, first off, the scene they added with Cy Snoodles, the singer, was like a cereal commercial. The special effects didn't match the special effects they had now. How could they? It was done in 1983 versus 1997. The computer-generated graphics looked out of place. The Sarlacc pit has Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors in the middle now. It's ridiculous, and they took out the Ewok song. Ron, you've seen Return of the Jedi, haven't you?
No.
You haven't seen Return of the Jedi?
I haven't seen any of those movies.
You haven't seen the Star Wars trilogy?
It doesn't interest me, no.
How did you get elected as selectman with knowing that people, didn't your opponent go, I'd like to add that Ron Vecchia has never seen the Star Wars trilogy. That didn't happen.
No.
You're lucky they didn't get out.
That's right.
But do you think something like that is just another example of, and let's talk about Lucas too, with this 7 billion book deals. How many bad novels are they going to make before they realize that Star Wars should not be touched anymore? Who here has read some of the Star Wars books? How far did you get, man?
About halfway through.
Yeah, halfway through.
Oh, yuck.
And it's just you look at,
What's the big deal? Why is there a problem with that?
well, don't you think that,
So he could release the 3 movies, re-release them with new effects, and, what's the big deal?
well, the big deal is it kind of is something that doesn't need to be done. In other words, he re-released the movies, I think, a couple, or remastered them.
It's called greed.
Yes, I know. That's
See?
exactly it. So what's your opinion about that? Do you think that's right to do, or?
I really don't have an opinion. Personally, I mean, if that's what he wants to do and he wants to make a couple of $1 trillion off it, fine. I
And
mean,
would you re-release Community Forum with like all new special effects?
I've been doing that. I am doing my new releases with Community Forum is going to be all the soundtracks of all the board meetings we had for the last 3 months.
And you worry about my show with language? You
Okay.
kidding me? That's insane.
But I mean, that's, it doesn't particularly bother me. I know you're more into that.
Well, I mean, I think that it's an emotional issue for me because those are really special films growing up. Or, how do you feel about colorization then when they colorize movies and does that get you and you watch them?
Yeah, I don't think they should have. I think just looking at some of the old reruns like Lucy and I was Jackie Gleason, that's on Channel 38. I think it's on at 12:30 at night. But that kind of fits that kind of show, and just like Black and White fits that type of movie for that particular time and that era. And just like there are good movies that come out now that are released today, new movies in black and white, that there's a special thing about black and white. It adds to the dimension of the movie.
Oh, totally. And one of the things, too, in colorization in its early times, they couldn't get the colors exactly right. So people, one of the movies with your boy Frank Sinatra, he actually had brown eyes in one of the movies.
That's right, and a green face.
Exactly,
He drank too much Green River.
So what's the deal with greed, Ron? Are we doomed as human beings? Like in the next 10 years or so? I mean, I don't know. Just writing the monologue that I didn't do and all the other stuff. I mean, it really got me mad because it just seems like we are on a never-ending roller coaster of just people just me.
I don't know if it's ever going to change.
Talking to the man who created a show that he could host for an hour and a half. So I don't know.
This is an hour and a half?
Yeah, it feels a lot longer when you're up here, but it really is an hour and a half.
What time does Community Forum start?
I don't know.
You promised me there was going to be Community Forum. You didn't have my table. I thought you were going to bring the table.
No, I didn't bring the Community Forum table out. But I mean, do you think that there's a way out? Do you think, or is it just going to continue to escalate?
It's going to continue. How can you change that?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I'm asking.
How can you
I'm
change?
asking you.
How can you
You're
change?
You're the goddamn select person.
How,
I'm asking you.
How are you going to change it? How are you going to change? If anything, it's going to get worse.
Now, what would you do to change it? Could you? No, I don't. That's the kind of.
Could I? Would I? Should I?
If you could fly, Ron, would you fly?
Sure would, with Tinkerbell. No, it's not going to change. It's going to get worse. In this day of media, I mean, look at what we're doing today. Okay, we're bringing this right into the homes of Winthrop on a real local level. Look what the computer industry is doing. The internet. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. You're going to watch movies. As a matter of fact, I saw something on MSNBC. Have you seen MSNBC?
I haven't watched it extensively.
You got to watch it. MSNBC, owned by General Electric, who I work for. It's an all-news channel, but it's a joint effort with Microsoft computers. And they did a thing on movies, how they're going to try to merge movies with computers. So instead of
digital TV, yeah.
Okay, instead of rerunning or forwarding a VCR, you'd be able to get a menu. Okay, different sections of the movie.
Yep.
You could just click to. You want to see The Wizard of Oz. You want to see Somewhere Over the Rainbow. You just click a button and it goes right to that part of the movie. If you want to see when the twister hits, you just click something on there. But it's just
that'd be useful for those late night Showtime movies, actually, like the Red Shoe Diaries and all that type of stuff.
Actually, it would be good.
Because you always have to go through like 20 minutes of dialogue before they actually get to the part you want to know.
But it would be good for this show. It would be good for this show because you could just,
You could just, fast forward for the 2 minutes and then
you got it. Take the segment that the former selectman was on. Or the former board president, no.
Yep. All right, so Ron, what's in the future for you? Now, you've got a show on your community forum. When's the next one going to happen?
Yep. The 24th. They're also trying to work on some type of a format for the Board of Selectmen, the offices. Now, can I say that? Even though this is non-political. I'm not mentioning names. We're in that blackout period, correct?
It's all confusing, yes. I think
anyway, what we're working on is possibly some type of a format that both candidates, or all three, I don't know if Henry O'Connell has filed papers, but both Marie Turner and Bob Driscoll could appear on some type of a format at WCAT. We're going to be working on that. Hopefully the week of the 23rd we'll be doing that. I think the following evening I have a community forum show, and I'm working on something interesting, and it's going to be about the youth of Winthrop. And
really?
I got a very.
I didn't know you were going to. We got some.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. You got a couple of them there, Ron. You want to
We
bounce
do.
some ideas.
And it's going to be a little different than this. The format will be much different, but it's going to be more of a positive thing, okay? No, wait a minute,
thanks,
wait a
man. I
minute. No,
appreciate
no, I don't mean it. I'm not talking about your show. I'm talking about some of the things that have been in the paper about the youth of Winthrop. That's what
Oh,
I'm
that's
referring to.
ridiculous.
I'm not referring to the show as that, but I'm referring to some of the stuff that's been
Let's
written.
hang them all, Ron. They're all useless, you know.
But I'm going to do something on that. And also, we're going to do something on the town meeting. There's a couple of controversial articles in the town meeting about parking commercial vehicles in front of your house legally, about having public hearings for water rate hikes and stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at.
Okay, Ron. Well, thank you very much.
Hey,
and
listen,
thanks for being on the
anytime,
show.
anytime.
Let's hear it for Ron Vecchio. I wish I would be a fly on the wall for his voicemail tomorrow. Like, oh, Baggett, we have a little Baggett here. There we go. My God.
It's yours.
Oh, his name is Spoonful. Look at this. Oh, thank you very much. Well, I'm going to take care of the bag. Hello.
It's yours.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank
Your
you.
baby.
What?
Are you going to help me take care of it?
Well, you know, I really, you know, I mean, I know it has my eyes and all, but I mean, we really shouldn't discuss it here on the show. I mean, it's not the appropriate place.
Well, I'm leaving town. It's yours now.
What, don't cry, don't cry. Mommy will be back, Mom. Hey, hey. What?
Bill, sorry I'm late.
Jim?
What's this show's topic anyway? I just got.
Well, we're gonna go to a pre-recorded segment now. The show's topic is about greed, where I went into Cambridge, and hey, Jim, you look like you're the father type. Why don't you take that?
I just came by real quick to give you something.
Really?
Because like Tom can't stand not having his greedy little face on this show, and he couldn't be here tonight. He told me to give you this, so that his presence may still be on the.
This is from Tom
what's the
O'Brien.
couch?
Can we get a shot of this from this camera right here? Okay.
So.
Jim, it has written on the back, take this to the Spoonful tonight and put it on the back of the couch. There is no couch. But we can do something. All right. Well, we get the pre-recorded segment ready, Gary?
Should I take this over to
Child
welfare?
Yeah, take it over to the bag welfare. Maybe
With
get
the
some-
others.
Yeah, with the... Don't talk about that, man. I'm on the show. All right, then. Well, here it is. Well, here's some pre-recorded segments I went into Cambridge and did. So, you know, the question was, is greed inherent or is it taught to people? We'll be right back in a little bit.
I believe greed is taught to people.
Now, what makes you believe that?
Uh, I guess it's because I feel that people innately are good, and that it's when they see greed around them that, and people getting ahead of them monetarily, that they learn it, and they feel if they're getting ahead, then this is how I get ahead.
I think it's taught because, for one thing, if one person doesn't have a relationship with God, the world makes you think like you have to have so much money to do this, that, and the other. Well, I definitely think that you'd have to be an example to people to give, you know. If you're not a giver, you know, that's where greed takes over you and basically litters your mind.
Yeah, so you don't think there's enough givers in the world?
No, you need a lot of givers because it's like everyone can be in a drought, like in debt, and if someone doesn't give, well, you know, they have to be, they have to have the heart to give, because if they don't have the heart, then you know, you just gotta pray for the person.
Yeah. I know. So the thing is, give. To give more, you would say.
Give more and just be an example to people, you know.
Now, what's the roof on this giving? What, $2 grand, $3 grand? Now, how do you think we reverse this teaching? It seems to be a lot of people saying it's taught. So, like, how do we stop teaching greed to people?
I think once it's like a cancer. Once it's in there, can't be eradicated. There's no hope.
No greed chemo, nothing.
I think it's taught. I think all of the bad things are taught.
All the good things we have.
Yeah, conveniently.
I think it's definitely taught.
What would be a sign that you're in a greedy family?
Just selfish. I don't know. If you see your parents, stealing from each other, I don't know. It's just weird stuff.
That might be a tip-off, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Lil, the question for today is, do you think that greed is inherent in people or is it taught?
Wow, do I have time to think about that?
Ah, sure. Go ahead. Take a couple minutes.
I think it's inherent.
Now, why do you think that?
Well, I think that greed in human beings is just a sort of intellectualization of just the survival of the fittest sort of thing in animals, where, you know, an animal hunts for food and, you know, an animal takes what it wants, basically, and that's what humans kind of do, only because we, you know, intellectualize it, it becomes greed.
I actually think it's inherent. People are just born greedy. Just like, what's his name, said in Wall Street. Greed's good.
Greed works.
Exactly.
Now, why do you think greed works?
Just thinks that's the way things are. And started out in the 80s, really building. Now in the 90s, it's just carrying over. It's like 70s are coming back to the 80s, so is greed.
That's cool. So it's like a style thing. It's like a trend thing.
Probably a little bit of both. Notice greed a lot in children, which might imply that it's inherent.
What about the teaching part? Do you think, like, how is it taught?
I think advertising probably encourages a lot of it.
That it?
I guess so, yeah.
Wow. So, what do you think of the snow?
I'm glad it's melting.
Oh, I think it's probably inherent in human nature.
Yeah, no, why do you feel that way?
I don't know. I mean, we're all inherently, self-interested. Probably, I mean, because you gotta look out for yourself. And because nobody else really will. And I think, like, if you see a baby, they grab out for things. They get what, they try for what they want. They don't really think about anybody else. So it's at the most basic level, we're sort of out for ourselves. And even acts that seem totally to lack any self-interest are actually probably self-interested because you feel good about yourself, that you get a good feeling from doing things for other people. So you're actually doing, in essence, you're doing it for yourself.
Wow, so it's all about us. It's all about me.
I think a little bit of both. I think as human beings, we have a tendency to be greedy. I mean, you have to look out for number one. It's your survival instinct. But at the same time, I think it comes with upbringing or maybe, what values you learn from society, your parents, friends, whatever. And, maybe how much you let your id rule you,
The id?
Yep.
Is that like the if, or is that like a little bit different? What's the id?
The id's like your basic desires and wants and needs without any thought of consequences.
The id.
Yep.
Id. That's good. You've expanded my vocabulary as well as giving your opinion.
Thank you.
You can answer first.
I don't think I have a good answer. I think it's a combination of both. I think some people probably have an inherent tendency towards greed, and then other people learn it or have it fostered. So I think it's a combination.
The combo theory.
And economic issue too, and how that breeds certain strains.
So it's like, it's not a simple question. It's not A or B.
No. But there are those of us who love to shop. So.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think it's taught.
Now, why do you think that?
Just the nature of people's lifestyles. I think that it's taught. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. There's no wrong answers here. We're not grading at all.
No, I think it's taught.
You think it's taught? So we can just sum it up. I think it's taught. This was a newspaper. Picture you. I think it's taught.
I think it's taught.
Now, why do you feel that way?
Well, because there's all kinds of different societies, so all kinds of different attitudes toward greed.
So this society basically is like, greed's cool. Greed's the way to go.
For some of us, I think ours is all mixed up. We have all kinds of different attitudes and all kinds of different subcultures.
I see. What subculture are you part of?
Lots of them. Everyone. I'm from Arizona.
That's a subculture in itself.
Yeah, Southwestern. I'm Christian, but I went to Harvard, and so it's all. And I'm in biotech, so it's all mixed.
Oh, you just don't know what to do. You're completely gone.
Yeah.
Do you think that greed is inherent in people, or is it taught?
I know it's inherited. Inherent or inherited?
Inherent, not inherited. It's not like, a vase.
I think that it's taught.
Why do you feel that way?
I feel that way because I think that people have
the innate desire to share things, and it's not until children probably grow up and look at their parents' example and the example of people in their community that they realize that the accumulation of material wealth is a desirable thing in society.
Ah, I see. So you don't think there's no internal need to be greedy or anything like that, or?
Maybe only to the extent that it promotes the survival instinct.
Mm-hmm. So having a Ferrari would not be about surviving; it'd be about wanting a Ferrari.
Yeah, it'd be about having a Ferrari.
Well, I think it depends on what it is that they're greedy about. If their parents like something, maybe the parents will teach it to their children, or maybe the kids will just see something that they want and they'll be greedy about it.
So like if someone wants, like parents will say that apple cider is important, then kids are gonna want apple cider.
Yeah, maybe. If it appeals to the kids, maybe.
Ah, I see. So if they don't like apple cider, but their parents push apple cider, that means they won't be greedy about that necessarily.
Probably.
What do you think about apple cider?
I like apple cider.
So you might be greedy about that then?
No, I wouldn't be greedy about it.
Oh, okay. What are we talking about? Oh, yes, greed. So, all right, so...
All right, we're back. Thank you. Kevin, you want to switch on that light? Okay, thanks. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. We have light. All right, well, Chris Castiglione, the other guest for tonight, is a no-show, so we like to call the classic fallback guest, Mark Lynch. There we go. Come on up, Mark Lynch. Mark,
I resent that fallback.
I hate it too, I mean, I want to get one show where you actually are like a legitimate guest and you're on the credits and you're ready to go. And I know that's the one show you probably won't be able to show. I know. You just know. But anyway.
I'm glad I could make it down.
Yes.
I came late, but I made it down. And I have to follow Ron Vecchia.
Yes, that's a tough
former
act to
selectman,
follow.
Bill.
I know.
To me.
It is very tough to follow. What's up with the signal? Are we like going through the phantom zone or is that my monitor? Oh no, we're okay. My monitor was screwed up. That's why I just stood up like that. Oh, yes, Mark, how you doing?
Very
nice
good.
to have you here.
Not a bad set as usual.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. A spoonful, if you will.
Yes.
All right, so anyway, the topic for today is greed. Okay. And we know that, you work.
Yes, I work.
Yes. Can you say where you work? Not really?
I'm a social worker.
Okay, you are a social worker. So you must...
I work with kids.
Yes, you do.
And their families.
That is it. That's all we'll get into.
Yeah.
But how do you think, as a society, America teaches or treats greed?
Wow. It's hard to say. I think it all comes down to, no matter what's taught in schools or what you see on TV, I think it comes down to your family. Because I think that I really don't buy, to an extent, I think the media has an effect on the way people behave, but I think it's mostly your value system. And when you hear or see something that isn't good, how do you react to it? Do you say, oh wow, I'd like to do that, or I think that's okay, or do you reject what you're seeing because you know it's wrong?
Yeah.
So I think greed, in terms of being inherent, I think it's definitely inherent. I think everyone has it. It's just how you act with it, how you personally deal with it. But it's definitely there in everybody.
I was thinking about that, again, writing the monologue that I eschewed to say, it's all coming back to me now. I think that it starts off, you start off on a really bad foot. Because when you're a baby, and you're just like a little baby, being held, you can cry. And then the second you cry, you just get a nipple automatically. It's right there. And it's very mean.
I'm like, as you get older.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. See?
Sorry.
That's what I was getting at. Because most men never recover from that first year. The instant nipple. You just don't ever get that ever again.
Thank you. From greed to nipples, Bill. Segue. I don't know how it got.
It's all one big picture, Mark. But and I guess we're taught. It's almost like, I don't know how far the brain goes, but like when you're young, you cry, you whine, and you get something, and then as you get older, you kind of have to. Right. You're told like no. Then there's a limit you can go with that.
Right. I definitely agree with that. And that goes back to your family and how you personally were brought up, and what you think. I think it's just whether you choose to act on your greed, if you can help, if you're thinking about how this affects other people, or if it's going to affect other people, if you're taking away from someone else, and it's been there since the beginning of time, so.
Now, do you have an interesting greed story, like about a time where maybe like greed was squashed or something like that you did, or I mean, I'm fishing, Mark. Help me out here.
Man, I'm dying. This is not rehearsed at all.
No, you're not dying. I'm just thinking, it's like greed is kind of like,
Right, I'm trying to think.
I was doing the interviews. It's like, is it inherent or is it like, or is it taught? It's taught. Why do you think that way? I think that people go by the example. And it's like, then you realize, like, where do we really go from there? I mean, it pretty much covers it. I mean, it's an interesting topic to think about anyway, because, I don't know, like, back when we were cavemen or whatever, I mean, it was very, like...
Speak for yourself, Bill.
What? Well, I mean, that was a whole 2 months ago. I mean, give me a break. But,
Some say my cellar resembles a cave.
Yes, it does.
In winter, it does.
What are we talking about?
Greed.
I lost it. But no, but I'm saying that it was a very, like, as cavemen, we get the idea of wanting, of needing, and just taking it. And how much of that is still, like, in our cerebral gook or whatever, How much is still, like, there lurking around, the idea. Because, it's all about jealousy. Like, everyone goes through jealousy, which is another, I guess, anyone know what the sins are, the 7 deadly sins? There's lust, there's greed, there's gluttony. I didn't see Dark Crystal, no, but what? Which one? Sloth, that's one. Envy.
Pride. Vanity, that's one.
He's got one. What's the deal with sloths? I mean, don't you think, isn't that like how come we don't have any...
Being a sloth's a good thing.
Yeah, but how come we don't
have... get away with it.
How come we don't have other animals like the luss? Like none of that stuff.
The wombat.
The one, it's always...
Doesn't exist.
The sloth's the only one that got stuck with the pad tire.
Yeah, because people are jealous of the sloth because it gets to do nothing and get away with it, and other people have to do things.
Yes, I know. Great. So how do you think, like, is there a way out for society to deal with greed, do you think? Like, the stuff that you deal with every day, how much would you say is based on greed or ignorance, or is greed ignorance, or what's the deal?
No, I think it's more ignorance. The problems that I see, people just don't know. It's not as much greedy. To a point it is, but it depends what people are dealing with. If they're dealing with, substance abuse issues, then, and they have a kid, and they choose to, indulge in substances, then they're being greedy to a point, but it's also ignorance on their part, because maybe it's not, I suppose
it's because I think...
Do people know better all the time, or
I think people do. I think people inherently have a lot of... See, I'm one of those greedy inherent people. So,
I'm with you.
So it's kind of like, I think the challenge of being a human being is to not have these emotions, but to kind of keep them in check, to sort of learn how to oversee them and stifle them and work through them, as opposed to just letting them run wild and go nuts.
Right. Unfortunately, for a talk show format, it's unfortunate. I agree with you, because then we can't...
I know, there's no thing. But what do you think of this eggplant?
I don't need eggplant, actually. Let me see that. Is this the one that you said had your eyes?
No, that was the... that was the baggy baby, the little bag baby.
Oh.
That was kind of embarrassing, but...
the famous Kelly made it.
Oh, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. There's wow, she even carved...
That's not the Kelly from, like, years ago.
I don't think so. I think it's a different Kelly.
Different Kelly, okay.
It's a different Kelly. But, all right, well, how do you...
Greed, eggplants,
bagheads,
bagheads.
We're all over the place tonight.
Selectmen. I mean, what's next? A llama? Personal joke. Sorry.
But so I mean, I don't know who's to blame in all this, Mark. Like for star athletes getting greedier, for people getting greedier. Yeah, okay, people can get upset, and the guy who burnt himself on a McDonald's coffee, or the woman in suit for like $1 billion, or what was that deal? I mean, like. Who's the jerk here? I mean, is it the person who goes forward and tries to make something out of it, or is it us for just going?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just people, until they get to a point, people will put up with it. And people always say, the baseball strike from a couple of years ago, I'm never going back. Everyone's, actually they have lost people, but a lot have gone back, because people don't want to take a stand really with that stuff. It's like, oh yeah, and I'm guilty of it to an extent too. I think it's stupid how much money they make, but if they're bringing in that much money, why shouldn't they be making that much money?
Yeah, it is
really America. Take it or good or bad. That is the way it is. If you're bringing in, $100 million, if you're Michael Jordan, you're bringing in literally probably 200 something million a year, and you get paid 20 of it. Is that really bad?
Yeah, but
You know.
but the same token, it's like, you know.
Don't you deserve that if you're bringing in that much?
To a degree, but I don't know. I think it's weird, like, you know, Michael Jordan selling his shoes for like $120 a pop or whatever. That's
Right.
like, does he need that? Does he
Mhm.
really need that?
Nope.
The audience is now amusing itself out there.
Wow.
We've lost them, Mark. Damn it, we've lost them.
Give it all you got, Captain.
Give us all you got. But I mean,
Yeah, I think it's more society just not willing to draw the. People here and there draw the line, and they talk a good game when it comes to it. But I think in the end,
yeah, I remember that baseball thing. People were like, never, and now it's pretty much
That's
like,
just-
well, how's the attendance? Almost close to normal or normal or?
close but not.
Mhm.
It has gone down. Certain cities are really bad.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story. But the small markets,
This is like
the
back to
Pittsburgh
the
and
sports-
Oakland, the Red Sox team last night had like 8,000 people, which is really low.
Yeah, yeah.
Fenway holds like 35 or so. They usually
Yeah.
get about 30. So. But, yeah,
I mean,
people,
Boston people have to be like, you know, getting their legs amputated before they go see the Red Sox, but that's like another
you
story.
know, people get mad at you because you like the Celtics still, but everyone's.
Thank you,
But
thank
everyone's
you.
a Red Sox fan. They've never done anything. At least the
Not
Celtics
since
have done.
1918 anyway,
Right.
so,
So,
I
it's
mean,
like,
it's like, I don't
they
know
laugh
the
at you
deal.
for liking the Celtics, but I mean, at least the Celtics won something 10 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So that's good. We get a little Celtics plug in. It's not entirely a
Yep.
bad deal. Yeah. But I mean, I guess how do you? I don't know. It's weird. You're right. These athletes. Again, we're kind of getting to the role model. Greed. You know, that's another thing too. When I was thinking about greed, is that like you start off with greed, and then you realize that it really does skew into about 500 million different places. So I thought it was a great idea to have this as a topic. And then I find that I'm going to these like 800 million dead ends when I'm talking to people about it. But I mean, like, as far as being a role model, like, you know, these athletes are just people who are successful in entertainment or whatever, getting millions of dollars and really not giving back. I mean,
Right.
is that sort of like helping the greed machine, keeping things moving? Or, I mean, for all the money that people have made, there really hasn't been, I guess, a real
Right.
athlete or successful person that I mean, people give back in their time necessarily, but I've never really I've seen someone go, well, hell, I'm making, you know, 50 million, I'll give 25 million to charity and I'll live off
You
the other
have
25.
you have some people that give only a little. You have some people. This guy that plays for the Hawks, Steve Smith. He set up something I think in Atlanta that he spent $3 million on it.
Out of his own pocket.
Yeah,
Well,
out of his
that's
own
a
pocket.
good deal.
That's a lot. Usually they're like 25 grand or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy put out $3 million, which
Now,
is
see, that's to me, that's a legitimate, I don't know, person, because it seems like, you know, and again, I don't want people to, you know, to live in like, you know, in cardboard boxes or whatever, but you think that they're making, did you get a beep?
2.
Are people seeing you right now like, oh,
Yeah,
beep
probably.
on?
I know who it is.
But, all right. So what's the deal with greed? Is there a way out, or are we just like on the road to
No,
greed?
there's always going to be that element in society.
Do you think it'll ever go back to like earthy, crunchy time, or are we now?
Oh, there was even an earthy, crunchy time.
I know
it was-
it had its greedy moments, but to me, it seems like it wasn't really as bad as it is nowadays.
I think that's maybe because there's so much more now.
So much
People
exposure,
make
not
more
only.
money, more power, more technology, more everything. Everything's so much bigger now. Not physically, just everything is just, you know.
Yep.
So I think you can abuse more, and you can, you know, even in the business and corporate, we haven't even talked about corporate
Yeah,
greed.
that's
a whole other story. That's a whole show.
Yes,
But,
that is a whole show.
You know, I mean, someone like Michael Milken, I don't know how much time he got in jail. He didn't get any more than 2 or 3 years. I
Oh,
don't
that was
think.
insane. Yeah.
You know, and then you sense, you know, and he basically ripped off like millions and millions.
Yep. Yep.
And then people that do not, this is not to say that, you know, crime, violent crime or semi-violent crime isn't bad, but I mean, someone, you know, if I think of an example, you know, vandalism, or well, actually, no, you don't go to jail for that. I don't know, like a simple, like a minor assault or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you can get put away for a while with that.
Yep.
And it's like no more than stealing, you know, $500 million, you know.
Yeah.
Why rob someone for $5 when you can steal $500 million?
500 million if you just
and
don't
get the
get on a
same
computer.
punishment.
Well, Mark, again, thank you for bailing me out.
I tried, Bill. I don't know.
Let's hear it from Mark.
I almost
He's
didn't
the
do
guy.
it.
Okay, next show, I'm going to have you on as a legitimate build guest, and we're going to really talk about something legit, okay?
Cool.
Mark, thank
Good
you
to see
so
you,
much.
Bill.
Let's give it up for Mark. Here it is. All right. So, Gary, where should I set up the pedestal? Set it up for camera 2? All right, here we go. Camera 1. Camera 1? This one? Oh, all right. Ba-boom. Can you see that, camera 1? Are you all set? All right, hi. Well, now we're going to go to some viewer mail that I got. Of course, Spoonful is seen all over the world. We're very excited about that. I have several people recording the show at home and spreading it around to different countries. And I do in fact get mail. So without further ado, I guess, are we all set, Gary? Can we go to letter 1? Yep. All right, here we go. Letter 1.
Letter number 1. Ever seen letter?
Letter number 1. All right. Dear Bill, do you have an emotional side? XOXO, love, Rita. Well, thank you, Rita, for the letter. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I do Spoonful, and people see me do comedy, and people see me do a lot of different things. But people don't realize that I really do have a serious, dramatic side to myself. But I'm pretty excited. I just got through completing a film that's going to be out very soon. So actually, I think, Gary, we have a clip of that? We have a clip. So why don't we roll this clip? I'm pretty proud of this. It's a different side of me.
I'm not letting you leave my life and go stale. I just don't know if I'm hungry. Jerry, what do you mean? When you know, you know. Say it. Show me the mayo. Show me the mayo. Come on, you have to say it. Show me the mayo. Show me the mayo. Do you love the wheat bread? I love the wheat bread. I want to eat you.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, okay, it's all right. It's okay, Gary, I heard you. Don't worry about it. All right, here we go. William Flaherty, WCAT. Dear William, does your stuff ever get censored? Respectfully, Nahabindi Patel, Oak Ridge, California. Thanks for the save, Joe. The cameraman had to scurry out and like change the letter midway through. Does my stuff ever get censored? Well, this is community access programming, as you know. Community access is a little bit different from broadcast simply because you know, we don't have any sponsors or anything. So really, there is no censorship at WCAT. There's been a lot of cases where people have shown really, I don't know, over-the-line stuff, and because it's access, they're allowed to do it. This, again, is community access. It's much different than regular television. As a matter of fact, you know, I'm so confident of this. Gary, I think we're ready to do something. I have a piece that I have not shown for a while. It's the most controversial piece I have, but I just want to show you. The CAT higher-ups have seen this piece, and they've okayed it to show you that there actually are no rounds at WCAT. We're going to show you this clip right now. Hey, Gary, how's it going?
Oh, hey, what's up, Bill?
Nothing much. I just thought I'd come down. Wow. Look like you're watching TV.
Yeah, we're just watching some movies. Gonna be a game on later on. Want to hang out?
Yeah, sounds like cool.
All right, come on in. Hey, have a seat.
All right. Hey, what are you watching?
I'm watching Channel 3, WCAT.
Wow, the local community access station.
Winthrop Community Access Television.
Serving the community for over 10 years, Gary. 10 years of excellence.
That's right, some of the best public access programming to be found anywhere.
Ah. So I got that penthouse you were asking me about, Gary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one we're sharing it.
Oh, wow, open up.
All right. Look at that. Look at that
Wow.
right there. Wow.
Oh, I didn't think they could show that.
Wow. See the way the milk cascades down her body? Oh, my God. Look at that.
Oh, she looks mean.
Oh, it's kind of dirty.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, she's a wild woman.
Look at that. The thing
Oh,
on.
my God.
Yeah, so anyway, so it's
Oh, wow.
Ah, so you got some videotapes over there?
Yeah, I got a couple movies. I got all sorts of stuff. Number 29.
Very good, very good.
French Square is Talking.
Excellent community access show.
I've got Smoking the Bandit.
Very good, very good.
And, I was kind of going through my dad's sock drawer, and I know, I think I found one of those dirty movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you put it in?
All right. What the hell? do that?
Those don't look real.
Oh. Wow, he's an animal. Wow, look. She's wild.
Is that a birthmark? Wow.
Oh, jeez. How do they do that?
Both feet behind her head.
God.
Okay, Gary, thanks for letting me say.
Hey, all right, yeah, sure. Yeah,
I gotta get going, but
Take care.
oh, by the way, your mother's a dirt.
Your father sucked bus station, right?
All right, man, take care.
All right. Suck.
So as you can see, nobody ever asks you to censor at WCAT. It never happens. All right, here we go. Letter number 3.
Letter number 3.
Thank you, Dave. Dear Billy, what did you people at WCAT do with all the money? Yours very truly, Terry Nitstein, Winthrop, Mass. Well, some people have complained that they don't know where the funding for WCAT goes. There's been a lot of articles written about it, and every now and then there's something true in them. So we really try to look out for that. I mean, there's been questions, CAT gets 5% of the gross of Warner Cable, and people want to know, what are we doing with it, as if we're, doing crazy things. But actually, for this past fiscal year, there's kind of an interesting story that goes along with it. Gee, if I remember it, kind of goes like this, I think. I can't remember. Let's see.
All right, what do we have left?
Okay, we called the guests.
Yeah, we're all set.
Okay, pre-recorded segment on.
These are them. Yeah, they're all done.
Cool.
Yep.
The couch, have we got one yet?
Yeah,
Or?
we got one.
We'll figure it out by airtime. Okay, that's about it, Gary. Spoonful's about to make its triumphant return back to WCAT.
Damn, it's about time. I mean, that was awful being off the air.
2 months of living hell. I never want to go through that ever again.
I know, but as long as we're carried on the cable system, I mean, there's always a chance that it goes out.
Gary, we should be masters of our own domain. We shouldn't have to worry about no cable system.
But, Bill, it's not like we get a satellite or anything for this station.
Well, Gary.
Bill, don't even.
Gary,
come on.
Gary, come on. I took some satellite construction classes at Mass Bay Community College. I can make a satellite with both hands and feet tied behind my back.
The board will never go for it.
Okay, but this is what scientists do, Gary. If we could just get them a prototype,
Bill,
they'd love it. They'd love it.
The board needs to focus on important things, like getting some landscaping done.
Oh, Gary, what do I look like, a bearded freak to you? I don't care about landscaping. What we do with the satellite thing?
We'll never get our hands on the money, all right? We'll never have a chance.
Yeah, you're right.
The Warner 5%.
I can't believe they lead us lying around.
Oh, my God. You...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ron Vecchia, the president of WCAT. As you know, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, providing the folks of Winthrop with local access. We have experienced in the last several months some blackouts in our program, and we're very, very, very excited to announce today to the viewers of Winthrop the launching of WCAT's own satellite. This will ensure that there'll never be an interruption of service. We hope the people of Winthrop will look forward to some fine cable casting in the years to come. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on, wheel in the satellite, please. What the hell is this?
In the name of WCAT, I christen thee, Winthrop 1.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ron Vecchia, for those of you who were not at the first press conference. Unfortunately, we had a problem with Winthrop 1, and hopefully we will make out a little better with Winthrop 2. This, of course, is the satellite, the second one, in fact. The first one we had a slight accident, and we hope this one gets off the ground. So, staff, let's wind up.
In the name of WCAT, I christen thee, Winthrop 2.
Does go. All right, letter number 4. William F. Flaherty, Jr., WCT Board of Directors, Winthrop Street, Winthrop, Mass. 2. Dear Mr. Flaherty, have you ever done anything besides television? Expectantly yours, Ron Silver. Well, television has been something that I've done since 1987 or 88. I've been involved with community access for a while. I did have one stint. Actually, me and Gary did. It was the early 80s. We kind of got involved in one of those one-hit wonder bands called The Reflex. We had a hit single out called The Politics of Dancing. I don't know if anyone really heard of it. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't know if you guys really want to see the video or not. I mean, all right. Well, Gary, do we have that on tape? All right. Well, remember, this was in the early 80s. This is the group I was in, The Politics of Dancing. It's kind of embarrassing.
message. I heard it on the airwaves. The politicians are now DJs. The broadcast was spreading station to station, like an infection across the nation. Well, you know you can't stop it when they start to play. You gotta get out the way. The politics of dancing, the politics of rules, feeling good, the politics of movement. Oh, is this message understood? The politics of dancing, the politics of rules, feeling good, the politics of movement. Oh, is this message understood? We're under pressure. Yes, we're counting on you. That what you say is what you do. It's in the paper. What's on your TV news? The application is just a point of view. Well, you know you can't stop it when they start to play. You gotta get out the way. The politics of dancing, the politics of rules, feeling good, the politics of movement. Oh, is this message understood?
Okay, so that about wraps it up for viewer mail. Thank you. Okay, my next guest owns the Phoenix Coffee House in Cambridge. She is a business owner and one hell of a woman. Let's give a big hand for Dana Stone. Dana!
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right.
All right, well, take a seat.
And this is tough, sitting through this whole show, and I wanted to disagree with like everything everybody was saying, and you left me for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Fire away,
Well,
go
first,
ahead.
First, I have to say, Gary is looking very nice tonight. It's nice to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you
he's in his suit.
Gary.
Can we get a joke? Can we get a shot of Gary in the suit?
No, he's going,
He's going like, no. Well, he's a director, he can do that.
Yeah, I suppose.
So, great, Dana. So, I think it's goddamn inherent. What the hell do you think?
I don't think it's inherent. I think it's definitely a learned thing.
You think it's a learned thing?
I see a lot of altruism in this world, and you know, I think that it's really what you're taught, and I think society sends that message. But there's not, you know, not everyone is susceptible to that.
Yeah, but don't you think that...
What about all these people who volunteer? You know, I mean, I own a business in Cambridge, and I see the food pantries, I see the homelessness, I see all these people giving their time. You know, and that's altruism. That's, you know, if they were greedy, they'd be out there just me, and they're not doing that.
Yes, that is true. But what I'm trying to say is, do you think that inside all of us, there's a big greedy little guy pushing the levers and stuff, or woman, and just sort of like pushing buttons, and we kind of, in essence, to do something, we sort of have to eschew that or avoid it, or...
I don't know. I think sometimes envy and jealousy lead to greed. But I think maybe they're a little more inherent than greed. Because sometimes you see what someone else has, and you wish that you had that, or that you were at that point in your life, and then maybe that causes you to act differently. I mean, there's definitely a lot of greedy people in this world, and I think the 80s were the me generation.
Yeah, totally.
It's
all about me.
Yeah. But I think we're a little less greedy these days.
You think so in the 90s?
Yeah, well, I don't blame the superstars. I mean, I don't agree that they should be making as much money as they do, whether it's actors, musicians, athletes. I totally disagree with that. But they didn't create the situation. They're taking advantage of it, but we allow it to happen.
Yeah, that is true. But don't you think there's a lot? I mean, you run a business. Isn't there a lot of, I know it's true no matter what, but I think especially in the 90s, like customers who want their stuff and they just will people like elbowing people out of the way to get some coffee, like, pshay, I was in line, or, not really being considerate. I mean...
Rudeness and greed are not the same thing.
Well, aren't they connected, though? Because if you're rude about wanting X, then that means you're greedy about that and you want to get it before anyone else does. Or you're just considering of yourself.
Well, are you defining greed as in a financial term, or in an overall, I want all the attention, therefore I'm greedy for time? I mean, what type of greed are you talking about? I mean, I think of greed, I think of money.
Yeah, well, I think...
and just because someone's rude and says, hey, get the hell out of my way, doesn't mean that they're greedy for money. They're just ignorant.
Well, I don't necessarily go for greed of money. I think greed is just necessarily the idea of really wanting it all, sort of like not giving other people their time, or not giving other people, respect in some ways. I think that, in essence, you got to be kind of like, it's all about me in order to do some of the... I mean, we've all been to shops and been treated rudely. We've all seen idiotic customers. And, you have to deal with that every day. So, I mean, it's kind of like...
I had a woman yesterday, I'm talking to a customer, I'm trying to take his order, and, I'm having a nice conversation, but trying to figure out what he wants. And this woman goes, can I have the bathroom key? And I looked at her and I said, excuse me, I am with a customer. Yep. And I was rude, just like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I waited, and I finished the customer, and I gave him his change, and I said, thank you, you have a nice day. And then I turned to her, and I said, now, what did you want?
Yeah, exactly.
And after she left, the woman behind her laughed. And I said, well, some people you have to teach manners. Because they don't realize that, you're standing there at that counter trying to help customers all day long. Yeah. And people will walk up to you, and some will just yell at you. Some of my customers, because we're in Cambridge, we're in Central Square, it's a really busy place. If we didn't lock our bathrooms, people would always walk in off the streets and use them.
Yeah.
And since I have to clean them, I don't want anyone other than my
and
customers.
And I've heard some ridiculous bathroom stories. I mean,
but people won't even ask me for the key.
A person's butt is like at least around this big. And you've told me stories like in corners, up on the ceiling. I mean,
I don't even ask sometimes. I just get the mop and I clean. But I've had people walk up to the counter and go like this to me. And, we know they're asking for the key, but just to be, just to get them sometimes, because they're being rude to us, we'll be like, oh, do you have a wrist problem? And then they'll go, oh, no, can I have the key? I'm like, oh, the bathroom key. Would you like the bathroom key, please? Sure, here you go.
Yeah,
so we play back a little bit, too. When people are rude to you, you got to kind of put it back to them a little bit.
I'm asking you flat out right now, percentage-wise, customers, how of them are, like, rude, greedy,
I think I have a lot of really nice customers, but I work the day shift. The night shift disagrees with me. But no, I just think...
but you get those really neurotic coffee people early in the day. Like, excuse me, I'm a businessman, and therefore you're here to serve me,
But you know what? Those are the bigger tippers.
Really?
My staff make much better money in the morning. The business people, they're quick, they're in a hurry, they want to get to their office, they drop the change, and they go.
Yeah, there you go.
And usually the business people are always polite.
That's true.
They are. But I gotta say, in fairness to the night
sponsors are here today.
But in fairness to the night customers, we have a lot of regulars. Everybody knows everybody. They walk up to the counter. We know what they want before they even have to ask for it. Lately I have a herniated disc. I was in a lot of pain recently. All my customers are asking me, how you feeling? How you doing? Get off your feet. Is there anything I can do to help you? I mean, a customer's offering to help clean. So there's a lot of really nice people out there.
Yeah, I guess, too, it just, I'm looking at the overall picture. It just seems like the hello, I don't know, like lottery ticket people, I I don't mind people want to get lottery tickets, okay? That's your own thing. That's your own. But you know, don't you think that you should go to some store that either has a thing just for lottery so that you don't make a line of 100. You know, I just want to get a Coke. I'm behind 6 people who's behind one guy getting 30,000 lottery tickets, all with the same number. You know, and it's like, guy, you know.
But you got to blame that on the lottery commission for making the jackpot so big. In my opinion,
that on the lottery
there shouldn't be $30 million jackpots. There should be 30 different $1 million winners and make 30 different families happy. Why should one guy get it all?
You know, but I mean, if I have a bunch of tickets, isn't it my responsibility to go, well, gee, this is going to take a lot of time. Why don't I go someplace where I'm not going to hold up the line for 8? I mean, I would feel.
But he's a consumer just like you, and if you were waiting to buy something and they had difficulty finding it, you wouldn't want some guy in line behind you going, hey, hurry up, mister, I'm on my way.
No, but I feel guilty.
No,
so
you
that
wouldn't.
Yes, I would. These people that do lottery, they're like, oh, yeah,
Look,
you know.
let's get to the important stuff. Star Wars was awesome, okay? There's nothing like seeing Star Wars. How can you compare watching it on a video with watching it on the big screen, okay? We were kids when it came out. It was 25 years ago. It was great seeing it back up on the big screen. And I took my nieces and nephews who'd never seen it before. And it was wonderful for them to experience that.
I agree. There's nothing like seeing Star Wars in the big screen, but that doesn't give George Lucas the right to put a goddamn plant in the Sarlacc pit to have nice noodles do a ridiculous dance number, and he cannot take out the Ewok song in Return of the Jedi.
All right, but the new scene. All right. But adding the new scene with Jabba the Hutt in the original Star Wars provided cohesion. Now you know what was going on.
Cohesion?
Why.
Yeah, I really want to see some fake Jabba the Hutt walking around O'Han. It's like,
but it made sense. But now it made more sense as to why he kidnapped Han Solo later.
Yeah, but it looked retarded. It just like, like 2 weeks later in the chronology of the films, he's this gigantic fat mess on a bed, and like, what, 5 months ago he's like squiggling around? That's bullshit. No way. That's crap. No way. No way.
I still thought it was awesome.
George Lucas is a greedy mofo, and I'll say it right here. I'm like, well,
All right, well, I still thought it was awesome.
Well, Dana,
and I gotta say one more thing, too. There are a lot of really rich, famous people who do good things. Sting donates money to the rainforest. Peter Gabriel does the WOMAD concerts. There are people who dig into their pockets.
Yes.
Elizabeth Taylor does the AIDS Foundation. They're not all just greedy people. They do give back.
Now, all right, well, word up to those people. Thank you very much. I got to give the props to people who do agree. Well, you're right, I know, but we got to have a topic of show sometime, Dana, so I have to focus.
You got to bring me on earlier in the show next time.
Yes, I promise I will.
And I called in and had a really nice phone call once, so I resented all those phone call comments.
I said specifically to the people who were being. You said you don't listen.
But you gotta thank the good phone call people too.
All right, well, thank you all the good phone call people. I'm sorry there's no more phones. If you really want the phones back, write in, and I'll think about maybe bringing them back. Stay tuned for 10 Go to 10, produced by Rick DiStefano. It's a great music video show, and keep a lookout for Burnt Toast on May 23rd, 7 p.m. live. That's produced by Justin Solomon. Second Tuesday next month. I'll see you right here. Thanks for tuning in. Peace, and I'm out. Bye. Thanks so much.
Great job.
Oh, I know.
I love your skits.
Yeah, the skits are funny.